Page 315. It is the primal wellspring of all wisdom or creation, which gives life and brings about death to everything persisting or existing, through its all-embracing laws and recommendations, so that everything may come about anew in reawakening, or new birth and rebirth, and will one day return to it, because everything belongs to it and has come forth from it. Now, once again, an admonishment is brought to you people of your kind, or human beings, through the prophet, so that you become open to the knowledge and the wisdom of the truth, and have healing in your wrong thinking regarding your gods, tin gods, and demons, so that you create true love and peace in yourselves, as well as freedom and consonance or harmony, in order to carry everything forth outwards in the same wise amongst all people of your kind, or human beings. May everything be done in kind-heartedness and benevolence, or humanity, so that you and all people of your kind, or humanity, may take joy in life, and lead an existence or life in dignity, respect, or honorableness, as well as in gladness and in happiness, and you can build up or increase your well-being. Consider that you must first think for yourselves and care for yourselves, so that you may be well and are of good courage. But if you are growing, or outstanding/normal, in your inner world or consciousness, and in your psyche, and if you are open-minded, unscathed or healthy, and if you have sufficient for your provision, or food/clothing/goods/money, then also remember people of your kind, or next ones/fellow human beings, and give them your alms and gifts or donations in the measure which they need. And consider that you shall be educated in your inner world or consciousness, so that you are able to stand by people of your kind, or fellow human beings, no matter what their circumstances that are giving them grief in their inner world or consciousness and psyche. But do nothing of this if you do not have knowledge, and you are not skillful concerning, or you do not understand, the inner world or consciousness and the psyche, so that you do not bring about any harm to people of your kind, or fellow human beings. Bear witness at all times only with your knowledge and your wisdom, and leave aside whatever you do not understand, because if you do not act in this wise, then you will only cause harm. Because truly you cannot afford even a speck of dust of a weight in things which you do not comprehend or understand. And those whom you stand by helpfully in any things whatsoever shall experience true joy and well-being, and not be plagued by fear. Therefore, you shall provide adequate help to all in equitableness or fairness, and in true knowledge as well as in true wisdom, so that the ones searching for help can rely on it. Consider, in this, at all times, the unchangeability of the words of the truth, because only they are helpful in need, and a joyful message for anyone who is looking for help. Do not sadden people of your kind, or fellow human beings, through incorrect or evil speeches, but always have might over it, so that you do not become bad-mannered or offensive/personal. Consider that whatever you say always falls back on yourselves, both in good and in evil. Therefore only ever speak about the real truth, and therefore also of the laws and recommendations of the primal wellspring of all wisdom, or creation. And teach the truth that gods and tin gods shall not be called upon, because all of them are only fabulations or inventions. Because truly, whoever believes in gods and tin gods is only following a hazy picture or delusion, since it is a mere assumption, and no truth is obtained. Truly, it is only in the truth that you find the signs or evidence of the occurrence or reality. Therefore, only search for them or it if you are able to search for them or it. Be at all times sufficient or adequate/commensurate to yourselves, so that you do not search for completeness or sufficiency in others, who, as people of your kind or human beings, do things that you lack or that you cannot do, so you admire or cheer and worship them, because truly such doing is unworthy of people of your kind or human beings, because you debase or humiliate yourselves. At all times practice contentment or modesty, if you pay deference or honorableness to people of your kind or fellow human beings, so that you do not admire or cheer and worship them, and do not raise them up as gods in blindness or fanaticism. Truly, you also have no guarantee that you are truthfully esteemed by those to whom you offer or show your admiration or cheer and worship in blindness or fanaticism, because they only want to appear brilliant before you, to be admired or cheered and worshipped, and to wring gain or profit out of you. And those amongst them whom you admire or cheer and worship in your blindness or fanaticism, they invent lies that they do not want your admiration or cheer and worship, and your blindness or fanaticism, whilst continuing to bathe in it, and to believe themselves esteemed or honored/fawned. But truly, in this world their pleasure in it is of brief duration, because if they step out of line or commit an error, then they are trodden down by those who previously or earlier admired or cheered and worshipped them. Truly, if the words of the truth and of the admonishments are annoying to you, then they are only annoying because you cannot comprehend or understand the truth. You do not want to hear it, and because the deepest darkness reigns in your cognition or intellect, and in your true discernment or rationality, as it also is the case of the gods and tin gods to whom you pray, and before whom you fall down or go down on your knees, and you do not want to accept the truth that they are only fabulations or inventions, and without power to benefit or harm you. And if the true prophet lets you know the truth about this, then you undertake attacks or assaults on him, slander him with accusations of lying, persecute him and try to kill him. So you give yourselves no time to hear and learn the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life from him. Never turn your back on the truth. Rather, always remember that it is only through the truth that benefit or success can truthfully be granted, and that a fair reward only springs forth from it. Therefore, do not reject the teaching of the prophets, as is brought to you by your prophet. The teaching is that of the truth, that of the Spirit, that of the life, by means of which you can rescue yourselves from all unrighteousness or consciencelessness, and from your unfairness or irresponsibility. But do not search for the truthly truth in false teachings of the false prophets, in their gods and tin gods, and in their priests, servants of gods and servants of tin gods, because they cannot provide any signs or evidence of their belief or assumptions, and of their godliness or religion, and their fabulated or invented gods and tin gods, because their belief is only a hazy picture or delusion, and they reject the real truth of the primal wellspring of all wisdom or creation, and of its laws and recommendations, and are therefore doers of misdeeds against the truth, because they put it under a seal or deny it. The signs or evidence and the teaching of the truth of the laws and recommendations of the primal power or creation has always been brought to you and your heads, or rulers/lords, as it is also brought today. But those who came before you disregarded and rejected everything, as you also disregard the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life. And as you disregard the teaching of the truth, you have, since time immemorial, also disregarded the true prophets, and have slandered them as evident practitioners of suggestive spells and acts, or magicians, because they have been able to give you uncomprehensible things in signs or manifestations of the consciousness powers through the truth of the power of their inner world or consciousness, which you in your undiscernment or unintellect assume or regard to be suggestive trickery or magic and activities of the shadow world or activities of hell. Truly, however, it is not suggestive trickery or magic, nor is it activities of the shadow world or activities of hell, which is given to you through the true prophets as a sign or evidence of the truth. Rather, it is signs or evidence of the power of the inner world or consciousness that they show you, so that you may learn and recognize the truth. And truly, the powers of the inner world or consciousness are not the same as the acts of trickery or legerdemain, as are presented to you by impostors and charlatans. And the true prophets do not come to you in order to deceive you, but in order to instruct you in the truth, so that you may draw yourselves away, or turn away, from your false gods and tin gods, so that only the truth may prevail over you. Trust in all times in the truth, and do not allow temptations of unfairness, or irresponsibility, and unrighteousness, or conscienceless, to arise in you. Rescue yourselves from your unknowledgeness, and turn yourselves to the truth, so that you may live your life in equitableness or fairness, and accountability or conscientiousness, as fair ones or responsible ones. Therefore, it is recommended to you that you be steadfast in the truth, and that you henceforth no longer follow the way of unknowledgeness. Do not persecute people of your kind, or human beings, against all right and in enmity, if they do not share your willingness or sense, are not of your people, of your skin color, or of your opinion, and are not of your avowal, or knowledge, or belief. Because however and whoever they may be, they are the same as you, and therefore people of your kind, or human beings. And as such, they do not need your persecution, but rather your protection. Rescue all who are in misery in the body, in the life, in their inner world or consciousness, and in their psyche, so that you may be helpful and set a sign or evidence of your kind-heartedness, and that you follow the truth teaching. And if you are in any doubt about what the true prophets teach you, then ask those who have long since been following the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life, as it is taught by the prophets, because truly they can bear witness that much benefit or success and bearableness of the life is given to them through following the teaching of the prophets, as well as love and joy, happiness and internal and external freedom, consonance or harmony, and real freedom. Therefore, Do not listen to those who reject the truth teaching and are thereby, in themselves, lost ones. And if you teach the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life, to people of your kind or fellow human beings, then do not coerce their decisiveness or will to learn it, because otherwise they will not become true, knowing, and wise ones with regard to the truth, but merely believers who live in a hazy picture or delusion, and who lack cognition or rationality and true discernment or intellect, so they are unable to understand the truth teaching. Truly, no people of your kind or human beings can become knowing or conscious and wise if they are not afforded the freedom of learning, but rather if they are coerced to do so, and thereby fall prey to being believers, and if someone is brought to belief or assumptions through coercion, as is the wont of the godlinesses or religions, then there is no insight or rationality, and no true discernment or intellect in all this, which is why rage against those who are connected to the truth originates from this. But observe and consider all that moves in the firmaments or universe, and happens on your worlds, so that you recognize the signs or evidence of the laws and recommendations of the primal power or creation, and that they are of use to you, together with the teaching of the prophets, so that you finally become knowing or conscious and wise, as well as fair ones, or responsible ones, and righteous ones, or conscientious ones. Rescue yourselves from your unknowledge, together with those amongst you people of your kind, or fellow human beings, who also want to liberate themselves from their unknowledgeness. Direct your face to the signs or evidence of the truth, and turn yourselves to the laws and recommendations of the primal wellspring of all wisdom or creation, so that you no longer belong to those who pray to gods and tin gods that can neither harm nor help you. And do not place anything next to the primal wellspring of all wisdom or creation, other than its laws and recommendations. Therefore, no gods or tin gods, no priests, servants of gods, and servants of tin gods, because amongst all of these there are none who would be equal to the primal wellspring of all wisdom or creation. Now, through the prophet, the truth has come again in a new form to all people of your kind or humankind, so given through the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life, as it results from the laws and recommendations of the primal power or creation. And whoever now follows this leadership or guidance is simply following the prosperousness or well-being of his or her own inner world or consciousness, his or her psyche, his or her inner nature, and his or her entire attitude or kind of thinking / mentality. Whoever falls into delusion, however, that human being is merely going astray to his or her own harm, and can neither be his or her own guardian, nor his or her own master. Therefore, follow what is obvious or recognizable to you in real truth. Be steadfast in yourselves, and decide things righteously in yourselves, because you alone are the best assessors of yourselves.